The very private life of Melania Trump. The former First Lady has mostly retreated from public view, and steered clear of the campaign trail, while her husband fights to return to the White House and faces increasing legal peril. Since leaving the White House, Melania Trump's world has gotten smaller. Just how she likes it. Cloistered behind the gates of her 3 homes, she sticks to a small circle: her son, her elderly parents and a handful of old friends. She visits her hairdressers, consults with Hervé Pierre, her longtime stylist, and sometimes meets her husband for Friday night dinner at their clubs. But her most ardent pursuit is a personal campaign, helping her son, Barron, 17, with his college search. What she has not done, despite invitations from her husband, is appear on the campaign trail. Nor has she been at his side for any of his court appearances. These are the days of Melania Trump, former First Lady, current campaign spouse and wife to one of the most divisive figures in American public life. Unlike her predecessors, there are no plans for a speaking tour, a book or a major expansion of her charitable efforts, most of which, people close to the Trumps say, are not fully visible to the public. In her post-presidential life, Mrs. Trump wants what she could not get in the White House: a sense of privacy. Those efforts to retreat from public life have been complicated by her husband, who has turned her once again into a candidate's spouse. As Donald J. Trump faces a possible 3rd indictment, she has remained steadfastly silent about his increasing legal peril. While she supports his presidential bid, Mrs. Trump has not appeared on the trail since Mr. Trump announced his campaign in November and did not utter a public word about his effort until May, when she endorsed him in an interview with Fox News Digital. "He has my support, and we look forward to restoring hope for the future and leading America with love and strength," she said. Her absence is a striking difference from the start of the first Trump campaign, when Mrs. Trump, wearing a white strapless dress, descended the golden escalator in front of her husband at his campaign kickoff at Trump Tower. Mrs. Trump remains in touch and friendly with a small group of people from her time in the White House, including the designer Rachel Roy and Hilary Geary Ross, the prominent Palm Beach networker and wife of Wilbur L. Ross, the president's former commerce secretary. She remains especially close with her parents, who have an apartment at Trump Tower in Manhattan and have been spotted at Trump events at Mar-a-Lago, the Trumps' private club and residence. From her point of view and her friends' point of view, she's been through a lot and she's come out a strong independent woman, said Couri Hay, a publicist, who was an acquaintance of Mrs. Trump's in New York before she headed to Washington. She's learned how to close the door and close the shutters and remain private. "We don't see a lot, we don't hear a lot." Mrs. Trump declined an interview request. This account is based on a dozen interviews with associates, campaign aides and friends, most of whom spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the private details of her life.